Now, I've had this table saw sled for a number of years and used it for numerous projects, and it has worked extremely well. This table saw sled is exactly 90 degrees, and I really love that aspect about it. But it's heavy, it's bulky, and I cannot use this dust guard with it. Now granted, I built a dust guard that would fit on this, and that worked well. But again, this is just too heavy, and quite frankly, I think this is outdated when there are lighter, easier options available, and quite frankly, just as accurate. And that's what I'm going to make today, and this is going to get retired to the trash can. So let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to show you a new sled that I think is going to work just as well, and quite frankly, it's a whole lot lighter, but it's just as accurate. I'm not going to trade off the accuracy of the sled for the weight. That's not a good trade-off. You can tell this has been sitting on the floor for a while and not being used because it has all type of dust on the bottom. Now, one of the things I do want to save are these runners. These runners have worked extremely well, and I'm not going to throw these runners away. Well, that's better than I could hope for. That's almost the perfect length. So I'm going to use that and leave it just heck, I'll cut that little bit off. It won't be a big deal. But this is going to be the new runner for this sled. And this sled is only a 1/2 inch thick. That's going to make it a lot lighter. And it's only going to be on this half of the table saw. So that should work out extremely well. I am going to put one fence down here, but I don't need the fence down here to be able to hold it because I'm not cutting all the way through here. I'm only going to be cutting along this edge. Oh, and where did I get this? This is actually part of a cutting board. I just bought a cutting board at one of the big box stores or probably Walmart, someplace like that. And then I just cut it into the strips that I needed, and this has worked extremely well. And no tape measure needed for this. I'm just going to slide it up here, line it up on the end, mark underneath it, and cut it off. I normally take pennies and just drop a penny down in here, but unfortunately I don't have any pennies, just have a couple of washers, and that'll work just fine. So I'll put that in there. That raises it up just enough. Then I want to pick the best side. And I think that's the best side, so we're going to use that right there. I'll line that up right next to the table saw blade. I'm going to lower the blade down and bring the fence up to it and just make a check. That looks real good. I'm going to open that up just a little bit. That way I'll be able to cut off just a little bit off of that edge. Now, I have a little bit of double-sided tape that I'm going to stick on there. Peel that off. There we go. Put that right there. Now I can attach the screws. There we go. Okay, now all I need to do is just raise up the saw blade and trim off this end. Now this cut line is exactly parallel to my track. So all I need to do now is be able to attach the fence on here to be able to have it perfectly 90 degrees. Taking some scrap material that's left over from another project, and I'm going to rip down 2 pieces. Yeah, I want 2 pieces on this because this is going to be a much smaller fence than I had on that other big, heavy table saw sled. The 2 pieces, one is going to act like a strong back, and the other piece will be the fence itself. And in combination to each other, I think this will work out real well. And I have just enough scrap material here to be able to make this cut. I want to cut these to length, so all I'm going to do is just set this, because that's got a bad end there. I'll set that right there on that spot, slide it where it overhangs just a little, and I can mark it. And I'll cut both pieces the same length. I want to join these 2 pieces together, and of course I'm going to use the glue to be able to secure it together along with some nails. Now this is going to be a piece that actually is going to lay flat on the sled and basically create like a strong back. It'll help support the fence that's going to be standing up vertical. I want this to be glued so that it'll stay perfectly straight, and of course I'm going to nail it. The nails will help hold it, but it also acts as a clamp while this glue is drying. So now I'm just going to flush the bottom edge of this and make sure it's even on the end, and then I can just nail it. I don't need a lot of nails in this. I need it basically just to be able to support and hold the glue. If nothing else, you can call it nails or a clamp until the glue dries. The most important thing is I want it completely flush on the bottom. I'm going to put a screw right here in the end. So that'll be good. Then I'm going to come down at this end. I'm going to measure down to this other end. And from this screw, I'm just going to measure down, let's say about 24 inches. That should work well. I'll put a mark there and put the second screw in there. Now this is a short T-square. I'm using this one because quite frankly it was just easy to grab. Normally I would use a longer one, but I think this will work just fine to be able to get this set up, because we're going to make the adjustment on this fence in a moment that'll make it far more accurate than even this T-square can get it. And if you look close, you can see from this right edge all the way down to the other end, there's about 1/8 of an inch difference there, meaning that this is not a square piece of plywood. But here again, this was just a scrap piece of material to begin with to use. Now I'm sure most of you are familiar with the 5-cut method to be able to check for the square. This has been very popular on YouTube for many years, and quite frankly it's an old carpenter trick from way back before time began, I believe. But that's the method I'm going to use just to double check to see how accurate this new sled is, and quite frankly to test out the accuracy of the T-square. The idea behind this is we're going to make 4 cuts on each of these, and then on the 5th cut it'll be right back to where we started. So this is cut number 1. I'm going to rotate it and put the cut edge right against the fence and make the second cut. And we only need to trim off a very small amount. So that was cut number 2. This will be cut number 3. And we'll make that cut and we'll rotate it one more time. And this will be cut number 4. And we'll make that cut. And now we have 4 cuts that are completed. And we're back to the number 1, which we had already cut. Now this time, I'm going to make this as the cut number 5. And I'm going to label this as A, and down here, I'll label this as B. And then I'm going to cut a larger section. Doesn't really matter. It just needs to be a larger piece of wood that we're cutting off. And this is what we're going to actually measure to be able to start the process on getting this fence 100% accurate. And of course, I'm waiting for that blade to stop before retrieving that piece of material. Now I'm going to measure with the calipers A, which is 0.789. And then I'll measure B, which is 0.724 and a half, actually. So I'm going to round off to 5. Actually, that's 7. That's going to be 787. Okay, so I need to take this measurement, 0.787 minus 0.725. That's 0.062, and then I want to divide that by 4. Let me just show you on the dry erase board. I think it'll be easier to explain this 5-step method. So A minus B, and that was 0.787 minus the 0.725. That equals 0.062. Now, we need to divide this by 4. So 0.062 divided by 4 equals 0.0155. To take the 0.155 and divide that by the length of our board, our little cutoff, and that was 0.0155 divided by our cutoff, which was 5.677, and that equals 0.0027. So that's the calculation that we need. Now we need to take this number and multiply it times the length of our pivot point, from our pivot point to the other screw on the sled itself. And that was 24 inches, if you'll recall. So that was 24. And when you multiply that out, that'll be 0.06 of an inch. And that's what we need to be able to make the adjustment to. Okay, now it's time to make the move. I've set the feeler gauge up to the 0.06, and that is set. But here's the thing, since it's a positive number, that fence needs to move to the rear, which is actually toward me. And if you see how I'm setting this up, I'm actually setting it up backwards. I'm setting it up where the fence is going to come toward the camera itself. That's the wrong direction. What that does is actually double my error. And because I'm here involved in filming, I didn't catch this error until it was too late. But this process of being able to make the adjustment is correct. And that is the most accurate way to do it, even though I went in the wrong direction. So I'm going to correct this now, move this into the right direction, and then we're going to recut a new board and test it out. And yeah, I like to show the mistakes when I do them so that you can learn from them, because it's an easy mistake to make. But if it's a positive number, you want to move it to the rear, and if it's a negative number, then you want to move it the way I just set it up. Let me show you how we're supposed to move it now. At this point, I have the feeler gauge set at the right measurement, and I'm going to take my block of wood because I want to move it toward me. I want the fence to move toward me. So this time I put the block of wood in first, and I'm going to clamp it down. That way you have a start point, and then I can remove the screw from the fence itself, and then I can make it where I can put the feeler gauge in there. So you can see the process is exactly the same. It all depends on which direction that you want to move the fence. So this time I'm making the move in the correct direction, and rather than just put in a bunch of screws, I'm just going to use this clamp to be able to hold it in place. Now, with that set exactly where it should have been set the first time, let's make another cut and just see how accurate it is. I went through the same process of using the 5 steps cutting that little block of wood. And I'm not going to bore you with showing you the calculations again or the process of cutting that little board. But in the end, after making all the calculations and the adjustments, it is amazing how accurate this fence is. Let me show you on the calculator. It is exactly 0.002. So we're 2/1000ths of an inch. Or if you round it up, that's 3/1000. That's still amazing. So at this point, I'm down to 2/1000ths of an inch. I'm going to call that good, because there is nothing that I do in woodworking that needs to be greater than 2/1000ths of an inch. So I'm going to put a screw in here. And that takes care of it. Now I'm going to flip this over and put a couple more screws in so that this does not bow. But with this backboard in here, it's in essence like a mini strong back. That's going to hold well. Well, there you go. A simple sled that is just as accurate as those big, fancy, heavy table saw sleds. This one's going to work out real well. I love the fact that it's lightweight, and I'm glad I was able to dial it in down to 2/1000ths of an inch. That's much better than what I need for any woodworking project. And by the way, take a look at some of the videos right up here on other tips and tricks that I use in the shop. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, by all means, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget, subscribe right down there, because I'll always have tips and tricks that's going to make your life easier in the shop. And for now, I'm going to say bye-bye to everyone, and I'll see you real soon in the next video.